Hey, anyone who's out there? I'm back and drawing the final page of Blue Orchid Chapter 4. So this is just the roughs. I will be inking this, and it'll look a little bit more like the final book when I ink it. But this is just the beginning. So what I'm adding here right now is lettering. I hate lettering. I'm not good at it. My handwriting is really bad. And so I just find that my lettering is never great. But occasionally, I feel like there are some cases where it's better to have handwritten, like I generally do all my lettering digitally. But in this case, I've decided to do these words, these little beeps. I generally do these little beeps. My main character, Blue Orchid, she has a time limit for how long her powers last. And so she has like a watch. And when her watch goes off, then that means that her powers are going to be running out soon. They're not out completely, but they're running out soon, so she should think about going back home. Fortunately, at this point in her career, she has not had the problem of it going, hey, the Bobcat theorem? If I pronounced that right, tell me if I did. So yeah, it's just, so her watch is beeping because she has to go, because she's just finished the battle. I guess there's a bit of a spoiler. She survives the fight, but so I'm just roughing this in. I'm a little tight today. My arms feel a little tight. The one thing I have to remember, though, is in this page, which I didn't really add in my super light blues, is she's actually she was fighting a water monster, and she was sort of soaking wet afterwards. So I've got to make sure I add some water to her while I'm doing it. Hey, everybody. Hey, cool. Angie Bernes, hey. Hey, thanks for subbing. It's awesome. Like I said before, I will be inking these, and I'm thinking about doing that live as well at this point. I've never inked live before. I've only done my roughs, but I'm thinking I will start. Then I will, yeah, so, but I'm going to be inking. I'm probably going to wait till after the holidays to do the inking on this, because I've got a few other little side projects to work on. So after I finish this page, after I finish roughing, I will be taking a little break from Blue Orchid for my comic book, and then I will ink it in the new year, and maybe I'll live stream it. So if any of you, if you're interested in following, make sure to, as some of you are doing, make sure you sub, because then I will, you can follow along. Feel free to chat with me. If you're not comfortable chatting on the chat room, send me a message. That's cool too. I'm always happy to chat with you guys. If you have any questions about making comic books, ask them in there. So yeah, any questions about doing indie comic books? This comic book I do is called Blue Orchid, for anybody that doesn't know. I do it completely independently. I do not use Kickstarter at all. Not because I don't like it. I just, I'm gonna make this comic whether or not people pay for it or not. So I can afford to sort of do the bits of work on it before I don't need the money, and then I just sell it. I do a print on demand, so I don't have to pay for copies until, oh, a little mistake I found in my drawing. Look at that. That's what's great about drawing, is finding mistakes. Thanks, Cheyenne Thomas. This pose, I was having some troubles with it when I was drawing it. I probably should have drawn it out more, but let's see what I can do here with my super rough. It's a picture of my main character taking off. It's always a challenge. I almost forgot to do something in this first one. I remember now that I have to add some water drops on her, because, again, she was fighting a water monster in the last one. So a little bit of water is essential. To make sure consistency and that sort of thing in storytelling, I think, is important. A couple of drops. There we go. Good. Thanks to everybody for going through and watching. I do lives. I am in, right now I'm in Northern Africa as I draw this. So I tend to, because of the time differences, I tend to be drawing what would be in North America the middle of the night. So that tends to be when I'm drawing, but today, for me, it's a little bit later than usual. So so that's why maybe some of you might be seeing me for the first time. Does anybody here draw comic books or do any drawing at all? Just curious. Any of you watching this, or any of you comic book artists or cartoonists of any kind? Do you do comic strips, and do you do an internet cartoon? Let me know if you do. Put your either send me your info, any social media stuff. If you do a comic book, I'm gonna follow you, because I think that's cool. Or if you do any kind of comic cartoonist thing, animation project or anything like that, let me know and I'll follow you. I will definitely, I'd love to check it out. And I also do a podcast about comic books, as most people would imagine, because everybody's doing a podcast nowadays. But the difference with my podcast is it's really just me and my friend talking about stuff that we would normally talk about with each other. And because we both make comic books, so my other friend is the creator of a fairly well-known comic book in Toronto, Canada, called TikTok Tom, and I have participated in that book as well on occasion. We just today discussed the possibility of me writing a new story, a secret story, which, if you followed our podcast, you might guess what that story is, because we talked about it once on an episode. I'm just going to write it. I'm not going to draw it, only because, A, I'm super busy with Blue Orchid right now, and B, this is sort of my cohort's dream project that, he was like, I don't know, this is what I'd love to do. And I'm like, let's just do it and see what happens. You should try it. And then he's like, why don't you write it? Because you had this idea and all that. And So I am happy to write it for him. I think it's going to be a fun project to work on. But we're going to start working on that. I'm going to start writing that project over the holidays. That's one of the things I'm going to do over the holidays. This is one of the reasons why I'm not going to be inking Blue Orchid. The other reason I'm not inking Blue Orchid is I'm not going to be here. I'm traveling. I'm going to Europe for a couple of weeks. Visit some friends I have, some European friends, and just check stuff out. Anybody out there in Europe? Probably not. If you are European, let me know. Again, I'm going to be actually going to Paris for part of my trip. And I've purchased comic books in Paris in the past. And so if anybody out there knows any good comic book shops in Paris, please let me know, because I would like to visit them. So drop them in the comments, or send me a direct, or DM me or something. Let me know of any good shops in Paris, because I've been to like a few of the big stores, but I want to know if there's any like little comic book shops in Paris that are worth checking out. I might be in Belgium for a little while too, so if you know any there, or any, I can obviously check out all the Tintin stuff in Belgium, but I want to know if there's anything else. Is there any shops in Paris and in Belgium that actually specializes in indie comics? That's what I would really like to know, because I'd be interested in seeing what the indie scene is like in those places. Because frankly, the only shops I've been to, oh my goodness, I just realized I forgot to give her eyebrows. I forget stuff all the time. This is why I don't mind people. Some people say there's some people who say that they don't like redrawing their comic books, but for me, it's an excuse to find the mistakes and fix them. Because man, do I make a lot of mistakes when I'm drawing my comics the first time. That's why I love redrawing them like 100 times, because I can get it right. Fewer mistakes. Again, I'm heading to Europe. So if anybody knows any good comic book shops in Europe, particularly indie comic book stuff, like smaller press, I would imagine there must be a scene for it, because like R. Crumb moved to Paris based on selling his sketchbooks. So I think that there's people that like indie comics in Europe. It seems like the kind of continent that would support it, considering how much they like revolution, free press. I mean, particularly France, it's like some people say that like the media, the news, and all that, the fifth estate, as they call it, was invented in France. So like the idea of like a free press is a very French thing. So I'm surprised. I would be surprised if there wasn't a really big indie scene somewhere. I just don't know where it is. And so I'd like to, while I'm there, if I've got some time, check it out. See what the comic book shops are like. To keep remembering that she's soaking wet. My wrists are sore. So is anyone out there? If you want to chat about something? Doesn't even have to be comic books at this point. to chat about anything. Or at least stuff I know about. I guess there's a lot of things I don't know about in this world. I'm kind of new to this streaming thing. Or I always feel like I'm new to it. I've done it a few times, but it always feels new to me. I think the first 2 times I streamed doing comic books, all I would do was sit there and draw in silence. I think one time I streamed and I was just listening to music. And then I felt like, well, maybe people want to talk. Maybe people want to hear me talk. So does anybody out there want to know more about my comic books, how I sell them, how I make them? I don't know if that's interesting to people. Wow, 7 people. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I'm always amazed that anybody's watching me, to be honest. I thank all, now 8 of you, for watching. It's weird how the numbers go up and down. So I'll have like a dozen people, then like none, then like 5. It's funny, every time I stream, I always say to myself, wow, why are there so many people? And then so few all of a sudden, and then so many, and then so few, and why do I get so many comments? And then I realized my patterns of watching streamed content are exactly the same. It's not like I hang around for everybody, even people who are drawing, like who I'm interested in seeing them. I rarely sit with them for a long time and watch people draw. So I get it. Even if you're just stopping by for a second, hello. Or maybe if you're watching this, it's maybe, because I've now started to post my streams online. I post them twice. I post the full content. You can watch this entire stream. And so if you're passing through and you're like, hey, I don't want to I can't watch this whole thing right now, but maybe later. You can. I will post the whole stream, and in addition to that, I also do a shortened version, which is basically the entire thing in a time lapse. So you can watch me draw this entire page like super quick. So that's always fun. It's a good thing I'm almost finished these last page. My pencils are getting short. It's getting ridiculous. And I don't have any more pencils right now. I'm expecting more to come, but I'm running low, which is rare for me. And so, fortunately, I was getting nervous. I was like, what if I run out? And I have run out, but I'm pretty much done. As I said earlier, this is the last page of Blue Orchid Chapter 4. which, you know, I hope to get out in 2020. Well, I will. It'll be out in 2026, probably earlier. Maybe not January, or maybe March. That's my goal. I broke my pencil. It's okay. It's good enough still. I push down really hard when I draw. I wonder what that says about me. Is that like a stress thing? I do stress out over silly things, so maybe that's the case. Any psychologists out there that can answer this? Questions about pushing your pencil down really hard? What does it mean? What does it say about you? I guess it depends what kind of psychologist you are. If you're Freudian, I don't want to hear from you. Then I just blame my mother. One more panel to rough in real quick. How long have I been doing this? Almost half an hour. So, depending on how things go, I don't know what time it is. It's like 1:30. This might be a shorter one, or maybe I got a sketch I want to rough out too. For a future issue of Blue Orchid, I came up with a character, and I've been thinking about it. I want to sketch it out, get it out of my brain, so I do that a lot. So for those that aren't familiar with my comic, it's a comic book about a girl from Southeast Asia with superpowers. And she fights giant monsters. And the challenge of Blue Orchid is coming up with monsters. I have a sort of base number of the hero characters and things like that, but I constantly am having to come up with new monsters, and that proves to be challenging. So whenever I come up with a monster, I tend to sketch it out, and then I have like a library of monsters to choose from. The monster in this issue I actually came up with while I was traveling in, where was it? It was somewhere in Southeast Asia. And it's a water monster. And I think I was by the sea actually when I came up with it. So that's where this current monster came from. But the next monster, the monster for an upcoming story, I don't know which one. I don't have a particular use for it yet, this monster. But the one I'm sketching out now is I'm thinking about doing a volcano monster. I thought that would be kind of cool. So, look at that. I can flip this around for you guys even. That's the last page of Blue Orchid Chapter 4, roughed in. And that's as rough as I will do it. After this stage, some people go to tighter pencils. I choose not to. I just go to inks after this, straight off. Only because if I go to a tighter pencil, then my inks get too stiff. So with this I like to keep it kind of loose, and I'll worry about details after. The nice thing about, I mean, everybody thinks inks is this final thing, but really with inks, you can always white out, you can always fix it. So I think I got a bit of time. So I'm gonna put this page away. I got a sketchbook over here. And if you want to pick up any of my comics on Amazon, this is what they look like. I can maybe, look at this, I'm advertising myself. So I'm going to, got a white page here. I'm not going to use my blue pencil. I'm going to use my pink one. I've got a bunch of these pink Coal Erase pencils. I use Coal Erase for all my blues. I use blue because, I don't know, because I'm weird that way. I might try and do a future issue of Blue Orchid with regular pencils, but I always tend to use colored pencils because it makes my brain work better. But I got this pink Coal Erase. I got a bunch, the reason I got these, sometimes I like them because you can use them to fix things on pages. So if you want to bring attention to it in your brain, like being like, okay, this is actually the correct one. But the main reason I bought them is because they were super cheap, because nobody buys bright pink Coal Erase pencils at all. And they're good for just doodling, like sketching and stuff like that. So why not? And then, so I'm gonna do a volcano monster. So I'm gonna just, when I do the volcano, just a thing like that, I'm thinking the monster will come out maybe like a super big mouth and just a, tiny little head here. Make his lips like, there we go. It's kind of neat because you can make the lava his lips. And his eyebrows can be sort of lava-y. Rocks, bits of magma shooting out. I think I might even have the crack of his mouth go right to the edge of the volcano. I love drawing gloopy stuff, so this is right up my alley, having a lava monster. Apparently somebody's randomly said, no English word has double O except good. Prove me wrong. I don't think I need to prove you wrong. I think there's enough. I do comic books. I think that proves you wrong. I don't need to prove you wrong though, because you can do whatever you like. Out of his mouth. Oh my God, I'm liking this. It's actually working really well. Exactly, the smoke coming out of his mouth. This is coming along quite well. I'm liking this. A little bit of lava dripping down. The crack. A bit of lava coming out here. Oh, lots of lava. I love drawing gloopy stuff. This theme. Look at that. Jax WV1XI had the same answer I did. It's particularly relevant considering there's literally comic books sitting in front. Erasers, the bane of my existence. As I've mentioned before, but maybe if you weren't here, I have a podcast. We actually did an episode recently on erasers. How much sometimes they frustrate me. Now this, okay, I'm just gonna need to add a few more rocks flying out of here. Randomness is always difficult, but also fun to draw. Like rocks. Rocks, you gotta damage them a little bit. Salad? I don't know what that means. But that. I never thought my drawing sessions would turn into a thing about spelling. Now there's the one thing I can't do for sure. Well, not the one thing, there's one of the many things I can't do is I am horrible at spelling. I'm gonna start inking this. Get my comic books out of the way so you can watch me ink. I have not inked anything in ages. So this might be a bit rough around the edges. Oh, I still have it. Excellent. I like to keep my wrist on a little sketchbook. For this particular one, I'm using a little brush pen. It's not my most common brush pen, but it's just a quick little disposable one I got. To start this off, I'm doing all the rocks, because I'm putting the rocks in the foreground. This is sort of like my comic book. This is about as neat and tidy as I will draw it with the, in this case it was pink, but normally I use blue. What's anybody doing for Christmas or the holidays? Are you going someplace cool? Visiting some family someplace interesting? For those just joining, I finished the page, the roughing of the page. I'm going to ink the page later, but I had a little character design thing I wanted to work out. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's an upcoming monster for my book. It's a lava monster. I realize, though, I have a problem. The lava monster has a bit of a problem in its design, in that it notionally has to be attached to a volcano. So that's a little weird. way I'm doing the brush right now is really rough because I want it to be really wonky and sort of lava-like. I don't mind if the thickened thing gets a little wonky and weird, because I think that'll only make it look better. All of my monsters, I tend to draw them a couple of times before I add them to a comic book. At least once before, even a quick doodle, just because I don't always come up with a monster when I need one. Sometimes I come up with monsters based on a lot of it's inspiration in my environment. In this case, I also do photography, and I was just editing and posting pictures from Iceland that I have, that I both sell and post online. So I was going through them and I saw these cool volcanoes and lava flows, and then it came to me, it's like, Blue Orchid could fight a giant lava monster. That would be cool. So that's what I'm designing right now, just the lava monster for that. So this is just me getting this idea on paper and out of my head, and then I will don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to worry about forgetting it, because it happens to me a lot, where I'll be writing an issue of Blue Orchid and I'll be like, what kind of monster should she fight? And then I won't remember having at that particular moment all of the monsters that I might have thought of earlier. So if I at least draw it once while it's fresh in my head. It's a good idea, I think. At least for me. Some people can just store those ideas in their heads forever, but I cannot. So, yeah, this is coming along quite well. Happy with this particular. Monster so far. Got the steam, but I think I'll do that with a tech pen instead of brush pen. I will color this at some point too, likely. Don't know when. Hoping you'll take it with me. I was saying earlier, I've got a vacation coming up, so maybe I'll take this with me on that vacation. I'll scan it up before I go. Thanks, Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi QX7IR. Assuming you're still there. Let's make this lava monster look better. Chaos is so much fun to draw. It's hard to get it wrong. The crazier it is, the closer it is to chaos. The more mistakes you make, kind of almost adds to it. So again, just a quick sketch. If I was inking this, I'd be a little bit more careful. But this is just a early design of a character, a monster. needs to start. It's a lava monster. So, I think that's about it for me today. Thanks for everybody watched and watching. I'll color this thing up, but I gotta erase all my pencil marks, and I got a bunch of stuff to do on it first. But I'll probably color it up on Procreate, and then that'll give it a little bit more maybe idea. It might be a little hard to understand what it is with the color. So, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys whenever.